What's happening, everybody? Steve here, and today I'm going to take you through a fully immersive 360 look at the interior of the 2022 Ford Mustang Mach E. Now, this specific one is going to be the premium version of the vehicle, and it's the E all-wheel drive version. There are so many different options that are available, but if you're looking for a fuller walkthrough on the vehicle, like you want to know what's going on the outside, cargo dimensions, things like that, check down below for that walkthrough instead. Now, if you're new to 360 video, never experienced it before, make sure you go to the highest available quality, so 5.7K. If you're on your cell phone, one of the great things is that you can take your finger and you can do a swipe to look around. If you're using the YouTube app, you can rotate your phone, look up and down as we go, which is kind of neat to do all at the same time. But let's dive into it and have a little bit of fun. So, a few things to point out. This is Ford's fully electric Mustang, and I absolutely love the look of this thing. There are two different styles that we're looking at for the colors, I should say, of the interior. This one, the lighter one, actually is kind of growing on me a little bit. Now, one thing that's kind of glaring at us, if we look up overhead, this thing does have that full panoramic sunroof. Now, it's fixed glass, but it's opened up, and it looks really nice. Like, I love it. I kind of really love the look of this thing. Like, very stark difference in comparison to the regular Mustang, where you've either got a hard roof or convertible. This thing just fully glass top. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. And that's my the first impressions of this vehicle. I think Ford has done a phenomenal job on this thing. All of the nice little highlights along the door, like we've got this nice metallic highlight that follows all throughout the dash. We've got these nice black highlights down throughout. Nice white body. We've got like this, I don't want to say, it's not a carpety feel, but it's a different type of fabric along the dash. And then we've got this like weaved texture. It's, I don't know if it's real carbon fiber or not. It looks pretty dang close though, and it looks pretty nice all at the same time. Nice leather highlights and trims all throughout. Now, inside of the Mustang Mach E, the seats are really comfortable, which is amazing, but they're all going to be Ford's ActiveX seating material. So that's essentially going to be a faux leather seat. Very comfortable. It looks nice. It feels nice. It's got a good amount of cushion. The headrest is super comfortable. Ooh, the headrest is comfortable, and listen to this. So we've got a four-way adjustable, so we can go up, down, back and forth with it to create that perfect fit for us. I absolutely love it. Now, adjusting the seats, I'm going to be along our left-hand side on the driver, right-hand side on the passenger, so we can go up, downs, backwards, forwards with it. And we've got two-way lumbar support, which is nice. And with the seat all the way down and all the way back, this is kind of neat. I've got, what would you say? This part of it, where your head would sit, maybe about 6 inches of headspace there. So a ton of space if you're taller. Like I said, I'm 6 feet tall, and I have a ton of headspace with the seat all the way down. Not typically where I would be sitting, but still, it's nice to know that it's available there. Like, we've got a ton of head clearance, which is always a nice thing. And if you're vertically challenged, we can move that seat forwards as well, which is amazing. Now, one of the cool things is that inside of the Mach E, we also do have our optional seat memory buttons. It's going to be dependent on the version of the vehicle you're in, but that's going to remember your driver's seat as well as your side view mirrors. You press and hold either 1, 2, or 3, and it's going to remember your own personal profile. But this thing is nice. It's got either a 6-speaker or a 10-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. We'll get to the audio test in a second, but it is really nice all at the same time. Now, there is some great technology available standard and available optionally inside of this vehicle. So standard technology, we do have the Sync 4 media screen. We've got a nice look there. We've got optional technology like Ford's BlueCruise, so hands-free driving, which is unbelievable. But like I said, this thing is really nice. One thing you can't see from your vantage point, so by my left knee, we've got a selector switch to figure out what's going on with the running lamps, and we can increase or decrease the brightness of the cluster screen as well as that Sync 4 media screen just by our left knee. Series of different options. We can flash our high beams, control our front and rear windshield wipers. We've got other options to control our adaptive cruise control and our lane keeping systems. And along the right side, we've got a voice command prompt, volume rocker, and things like that. Quick horn test. Not too shabby of a sound there. Now, the cluster screen does look fairly nice. There's not a ton of information on it, but just the basics. Like, we've got our range there. It lets us know how close or how far are we away from being empty, I guess. We've got our car in the middle. That's also going to let us know what's going on with our lane keeping system. We've got our current speed and then the gear that we're currently in as well. One of the cool things is that if we've got navigation going, strictly factory navigation, that's going to mirror onto the actual cluster. Now, the directions are going to mirror, not the map itself, but we can at least see if we've got an upcoming turn, whatever the case may be. The steering wheel looks fantastic, feels fantastic. We've got the option for a heated steering wheel in the lower trim, so the Select, but it's going to be standard when we get into the GT, the premium version, etc. But we've also got options. Now the steering wheel itself is fantastic, and we do have the option for heated steering wheel. It's going to come standard in some of the other trim levels, but it is really nice all the way around. Leather wrapped steering wheel. This thing feels very nice. Now shifting over, we are going to be push button start inside of the vehicle. It's going to be regardless of the trim that you're on. It's standard across the board. And on the key fob, so we don't have the option of remote starting directly on the fob, but using the FordPass app on your phone, whether that's an Android or an iPhone device, you would have the flexibility of remote starting that way instead. So you just connect through your phone and you're set to go. Now this Sync 4 media screen is incredible. Like, I love what Ford's done with it. 15.5 inches of all sorts of craziness. It's wild what Ford's accomplished and like kind of shoved into this screen. We've got a series of different drive modes which are going to affect the complete dynamic performance of the vehicle. We've got the option for one pedal driving, and we can create this like faux propulsion sound, which I think is so neat. There is the option for a 360 camera, so it is going to be standard on the premium version of the vehicle and some of the other trims, but we've got a full 360 view, a front partial view, or a front 180-degree view, which is always a nice thing. And from there, so many different options. Like this thing has built-in park assist, so it can help you out with parallel and perpendicular parking, which is amazing. We've got a little button down the center stack in order to turn that on, but it can help us out with both parallel, perpendicular parking. It can do it on the left versus right-hand side, which is absolutely amazing. I love it. I love that there's so much technology available inside of this car. So many different options for settings. We've got some pretty unique ones for charging the vehicle, which is amazing. So we've got our charge locations, so we can set up different locations if we want to, which is amazing. Like, I love that option. So the charge locations, what we can do is set it up for specific location, exactly that, so specific locations. So if you are charging at home versus at work, we can charge specific times. So if you only want to take advantage of that lower kilowatt hour power, so our overnight pricing, you can set it up so that you're plugged in and it's only charging during those times on days, weekends, whatever the case may be. And we can set up multiple charge locations all at the same time. So it is so neat what you can do here. But if you're looking for a more in-depth look at the steering wheel or the cluster, check down below, because I've done some crazy comprehensive videos walking through how all of this stuff works. But there is so much. Like, not only do we have the option of setting different charge times, we can also set a departure and comfort. So if you leave at the same time every day, you want to make sure that the cabin is hot or cold, you've got the flexibility to turn it on. So nice. We've got some ambient light and so many other incredible features in this vehicle. Radio, we've got the option for AM, FM, Sirius XM. We can look at our phone Bluetooth. We've got the option of connecting a USB stick with MP3s, like so many options. And one of the cool things is that this screen does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay support, but it's wireless. So one of the great things is that if your phone supports wireless charging, which this Samsung does, we've got a wireless charge pad that we can drop the phone on, wirelessly charging while we're wirelessly connected to Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, whatever the case may be. Now, this is the iPhone 7 Plus, so it's roughly the same size as the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and it doesn't have wireless charge support, but it's going to fit no problem inside of the charge pad there. So it's a little bit of wiggle room, which is nice. So the 13 Pro Max, the S21 Ultra, things like that, you shouldn't have an issue fitting it in this vehicle whatsoever. And one of the cool things is that if your phone doesn't support wireless charging, we've got some USB power points there. So USB-C port, so we can charge ourselves up while we're connected, which is amazing. So we've got tons of options there. We've got a few cup holders there, some nice storage on the top and right underneath. So we've got a secondary tray there. And like I said, we do have our park assist system, so the vehicle can help us out with parallel perpendicular parking. We've got an electronic parking brake and then a rotary dial shifter, so we can change between park, reverse, neutral, drive, or our low gear. We've got an armrest there that we can move up or down. It's almost like there should be a little jump seat here or something, but we've got that with a little slidable storage tray that does also have a 12-volt power point. So we can power a number of things up inside of this thing, which is always a nice thing. But I still can't get over this screen. Like, we've got so many cool options. We've got a little sketch pad that's built into this thing as well, and so many neat things. Like, I love what Ford's done with this system. I love it. So good. So many cool options. We've got the option of jumping into our radio from there. And like the radio is great. Like we've got, like I mentioned, AM, FM, Sirius XM. We've got a number of different presets that we can kind of move towards. So up to 30 individual presets that can be a mix of the 3 of them as well. But even the way that this thing works for audio on off, so neat. It's kind of got this like, it's got a physical button. Oh, I got to do this. Hold on. Great song. Okay. This is ridiculous. So that is like car shaking incredibleness. So that's the 10 speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. And I also have it set up so that the bass is a little bit more pronounced. It's why we're getting so much thumping inside of this thing. But sounds absolutely incredible. So we've got so many options, but the rotary dial for the volume is kind of neat. Like it's a physical tactile button there. And then the volume on off, it's got these nice highlights. And that's the same way even with the climate control. If we go climate control, we can have it going to our windshield, face, feet, some sort of combination of all 3 of them. It's really nice. It's really nice what Ford's done with this thing. I absolutely love it. We've got our tire pressure, built-in owner's manual, a few small games, like not quite as much as we'd see inside of some other EVs, but at the same time, it is nice that we've at least got that option. Now, one thing to note, this thing does have support for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, but you wouldn't be able to play video through that middle screen. So you can't connect to YouTube to stream videos and things like that, unfortunately, yet. I'm waiting for like a hack or something to come out. It just isn't here available as an option just yet. But great feature set, great look and feel overall. I love it. This is super comfortable. We've got our pillar assist handles overhead for the first and second row, and you'll probably need it because this thing is crazy, crazy powerful. Moving up overhead, we do have an auto-dimming rear view mirror. We've got some base cabin control lights. There also is Ford's typical styling. So we've got our sunglasses holder there. We've got our HomeLink system. So if you've got a garage door opener at home, universal garage door opener, a little business card holder. And then we also do have a vanity mirror with some built-in lights and extends out to potentially block all the sun that might be hitting your face, which is always a nice thing. But this thing overall feature-wise is great. One thing that's available optionally in the lower trim, standard and some of the higher, would be Ford's BlueCruise feature. Now the BlueCruise feature essentially is like the adaptive cruise system on steroids. So I mentioned it's hands-free driving. We've got our cameras that are mounted just right above the steering wheel here. And it's essentially gonna watch your eyes to make sure you're paying attention to the road, but it's gonna let you drive hands-free on certain highways. So in Canada, that's going to be our 400 series highways, like the 400, 401, etc., the Trans-Canada Highway. Down in the States, certain interstates. So it's not going to be available every road, not fully self-driving yet, but if this is an indication of where it's going, it is so close to being here. But this is really nice. I can't get over this panoramic roof as well. It's fixed in place, but it is so nice all at the same time. It meshes nicely with the headliner. This is really cool. But those were first impressions for the vehicle. If you're looking for a fuller walk around, or if you want a test drive experience instead, check down below because I've already put together some comprehensive videos on those as well. But if you enjoy this type of content, I know it's kind of different, like informative videos in 360, kind of different. But if you enjoy the content though, if you enjoy this format, give it a thumbs up, share it with your social networks, and comment down below. Let me know if you like it, if you hate it, if you want to see something different, or if you want a different type of car reviewed instead. If you are also in Durham Region, GTA, in Ontario, you want to meet up, or if you've got a unique car, something different that you want me to shoot, reach out. All my contact information is down below. More than willing to talk you through any issues I may be having. I'd love to collaborate with different creators as well. But if you enjoyed this video, thumbs up, share it with your social networks, and think about subscribing. And until I see you next time, take care.